you guys here with us in Savannah, Georgia, on board Old Town Trolley Tours. We are your nation's storyteller, and we are so glad you're here spending your day and your time here with us on board the fabulous Origin Green Trolleys. Now, for those tickets, guys, that you have, I'm going to crank up and go in just a few minutes, but I'm in 15 or 20 minutes most of the time. So we're going to make our way around. Make sure you have your maps with you, especially you guys on the hop on and off. We're going to show you some big stops. Also, we highly recommend this nice little booklet here. If you guys did not get the Essential Guidebook, we have a fingerprint version. Those look sort of like bells to you guys. So that's what I do. I'm going to point out little things that's kind of tucked away that you might not see otherwise. I call it my hidden treasure cards of my collection along the tour. So let's go have a great time. The building here on the left, that building once echoed the sounds and motions of the local rail cars for the Central of Georgia Railroad. The railroad began 1858 until the last train was May 1st, 1971. Today it houses the Savannah Museum. It has over 250 years of history inside. Now, take a look on the right here. I want you to see this building also. These two were a part of the Central of Georgia Railroad. They were the old cotton warehouse themselves. That's because cotton was king in Georgia, and cotton was shipped from inland Georgia here to Savannah port to be distributed worldwide. We're about to see what the old cotton warehouses looked like before it scattered destroyed them. All the way over to the right, guys. Take a look. You'll see the untouched portion of the building over there. And well, that's what the old cotton warehouses looked like before SCAD destroyed them. That area now is reseeded, repurposed as a seating area for SCAD's museum. SCAD is called the Savannah College of Art and Design. And they started here in 1979. They only had 71 students. Today, they've grown to over 13,000. With students coming from all 50 states and 80 different countries. 10% of their enrollment is going to be international. Now, SCAD is known around here for restoring things. And well, they take some of the buildings and they make them look practically brand new. Some they make look quite beautiful too, guys. The campus is made up of over 60 different buildings here. So look left, here's another one. This one's unique though. This is the Turner House. They built this one from the ground up. Look at the courtyard with all the bicycles there. That's because this is the freshman dormitory here. And the freshmen that lives here on campus, well, they're not allowed to drive their first year here in Savannah. And their mascot is called the Bee. We have nicknamed them here the Busy Bees. That's because they're all over the place here, guys. When school is in, it is. And we definitely have to watch out for our SCAD bees as we're driving around our historic district. Now, speaking of the historic landmark district, here in Savannah, ours is made up of 2.5 square miles of historical land, and that's considered the largest in the United States as of today. So they might find some things a little later on. They keep digging the way they do. Now, I want to tell you guys how Georgia got started. We're actually about to head right into the historic landmark district. We're on the westernmost boundary right now. And Georgia got started, well, April 1732. King George II from England, he granted a charter to James Edward Oglethorpe to begin a colony in a new land. Oglethorpe handpicked 114 settlers to make this journey with him. And it was said the settlers had to be honest and hardworking and dedicated to building this new land. They all set sail on board the ship Anne, and they landed at a place called Yellowcross. There they met the Yellowcross Indians and their chief Tamashiki. Oglethorpe and Tamashiki, they became really good friends. But I want to tell you about a young lady that was very intricate in the forming of the Georgia colony. Her name was Mary Musgrove. And while Mary Musgrove, she actually translated her Oglethorpe and Tamashiki. She was actually learned in an English and native way. Because of her parents, her father was an Englishman and her mother was a native. She came up with the colonists. And so, she was also said to be the first lady in this area to own land here. And that was quite a big deal. Now, back to Tamashiki and Oglethorpe. They became good friends and they decided to change Yamaha Bluff to Savannah. That made Tamashiki. Chief of the Yamaha Indians, he became the co-founder of the Georgia colony. Now he traveled back to England with Oglethorpe. He got to meet the King of England, and they devised a trade agreement once he got there. It was called the Treaty of Friendship. It was to make certain left in the Chatham County Crowd Complex, that's where we lost some Square. Of all squares, we lost Liberty Square. Now to the right, we also lost another square. Here we lost Albert Square to the Chatham County, to the Savannah City Center here, guys. And this is our social and cultural center, placed here, 1972. Well, this is actually the place where the tractor pulls and the mud wrestlers go down. And two, it houses the Johnny Mercer Theater. Johnny Mercer, he was a singer-songwriter, the native son of Savannah. And some of you may be familiar with some of the tunes he wrote. He wrote The Days of Wine and Roses. You Must Have Been a Beautiful Baby, and the classic Moon River. So guys, for those who like Moon River, who've heard of it before, and those who haven't, here's a little taste of Moon River for you.
My name's Forrest Gump.
That wasn't the one, guys.
River, wider than a mile, I'm crossing you in style someday.
Well, I just thought you guys would like a little taste of Moon River. But I know you heard Forrest Gump come through, so guess what? We're going to talk about him in just a little bit. Now, there was reasons for the founding of the colony, but first, Oglethorpe set in place 4 things you could not do if you were to live here. The prohibition. He said no Catholic worship, no strong alcohol or liquor, no slavery, and no lawyers in Georgia during that time. Church stops will strike the points for the prohibition, so listen for the reasoning for them. Now, the reasons for the founding of the colony: a military buffer zone to protect South Carolina from the Spanish in Florida, and 2, for agricultural purposes too. They tested many seeds and crops and plants, guys, and while cotton and peaches became very successful here. Now, even though they say South Carolina grows more peaches than Georgia, well, we believe that Georgia grows sweeter ones. Take a look here on the right is the Independent Presbyterian Church. Look up if you can, you might see the steeple. That's what the feather floated down in Forrest Gump the movie. From that steeple and landed straight ahead in Chippewa Square. When you guys see that Chippewa Square sign, that's where Forrest Gump and the bench was sitting at one time. The bench is no longer there, guys. We do have a replica off in our stop number 1 at the Visitor Center, the Savannah History Museum. We're going to talk more about Forrest, so let's stop when we get here. This is our stop 2 for those getting off at this location. Where the Chippewa Square sign is, that's where they were. And the feather came floating down from the Independent Presbyterian Church steeple and landed at Forrest Gump's foot. And he began to tell his life story. I'm sure some of you remember how it went. Well, Forrest said that life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. And well, that's all I have to say about that. If you're on the right-hand side, look, guys, take a look at the opening here. You will see the steeple. Just look up. We have the Trolley House Inn here on the right also. Quite some cells behind that. But I want to show you guys the next site. We're passing the First Baptist Church here. But what I'm showing you guys is right across the street, the white mansion here. Or the cream one. Look at the iron work on this mansion, the Parker Company. It was called the Barrow House. Back in 1848, it dates back. Well, I want you to see the fence here near the road. Look down. Look down at the rounded medallions within the fence. It has the engraved faces of the presidents and poets. It was said the more iron you had around your home back then, the more wealthier you were said to have been. So here's a statue for the founder of the Georgia colony, James Edward Oglethorpe. Look left, guys, right in the middle of the square in the center. Well, he founded the Georgia colony February the 12th, 1733, when he landed at Gator Bluff. At its base are 4 lions. Those lions are carrying the great seal for the coats of arms, the state, and city, and colony of Georgia. Savannah is somewhat of a movie town. Many films have been filmed here on location, and we're hoping for more to come. But here, take a look on the right. You'll see the red telephone booth here. It's attached to the Sixpence Club, and the Sixpence Club was featured in a film starring Julia Roberts. And well, that's the place in the movie where Julia Roberts peeked through the window of the Sixpence Club and she saw her husband. And let's just say, guys, he was not alone. And well, it was quite a drama the movie was. Does anyone on board remember the name of the film? I just love that you guys are really trying to find out here. Does anyone know? No. Dennis Quaid played her husband in that film.
Yeah, you're taking pictures. I got it.
It was called Something to Talk About, guys. That was the name of the film. Now, we're going to go through and see a Moorish style of architecture on the next building. It was House of Ford Motor Company here. Take a look on the right with the architecture.
Whoa.
And well, it was said that it was an Arabian Princess horse's stable too. This will be our stop 3 for those getting off at stop 3. Here we are.
Did you get that bird?
Yeah.
Stop 3. All right, well, we're going to take on off. Heading out. Heading into Madison Square. Name for James Madison. He was the 4th president of the United States. So in the center, guys, take a look straight ahead. You'll see the statue there. Once you get up a little closer, you'll see it fully. The statue, it goes to the Sergeant William Jasper. He was mortally wounded as a non-commissioned officer for the siege of Savannah, in the siege of Savannah, October 9th, 1779. You'll hear more about the siege once we get to the next square. So there's the statue of the Sergeant William Jasper. That statue depicts his courage because, guys, he's actually dying in that statue. He was mortally wounded by way of a grape seed. Do you know what that was? A type of bullet back then. We're going to talk more about that siege show. So look, guys, on the right. This pumpkin-colored home with the green trimmings was built for Francis and Matilda Sorrell. They were known socialites here. They were known for the big, lavish, large parties they would throw that would spill off into the green of Madison Square. Now here is Green Belgium. This is the home where General Sherman stayed during his occupancy of Savannah. The home was offered to him by Charles Green. And Charles Green was a very wealthy cotton merchant. And while he said he offered the home so no Savannah family would feel the embarrassment of hosting the enemy, well, General Sherman offered Savannah in its entirety to the President Abraham Lincoln as a Christmas gift. Well, it's a good thing President Abraham Lincoln accepted the gift of Savannah. Otherwise, Savannah could have very well been burned to the ground, just as Atlanta was. So we talked about SCAD, the Savannah College of Art and Design. You are about to see the very first building SCAD restored here. It's their admissions office today. But guys, there's got to be some cannons outside the doorway. Excuse me. There's got to be some cannons outside the doorway of the building here. On the left, take a look. Those cannons are real. They let you know the use of the building at one time. This used to be our Savannah Volunteer Guards Armory here on the left. So get your cameras ready. You are about to see the Mercer Williams House in the next square, Monterey Square. Noted for the American victory in Monterey, Mexico during the Mexican-American War. In the center, guys, there's another monument. It goes to the Count Casimir Pulaski. He was a Polish general, and he fought to assist the American and French troops during the siege of Savannah, October 9th, 1779. Well, it was an ill-fated attempt to drive out the British forces. There's the monument in the center to the left here. And they could not drive the British out. And while the Count Casimir Pulaski, he was the high-ranking officer of the siege. He was mortally wounded in that bloody siege. So the Mercer Williams house is right here on the right, the red brick home coming up. Guys, this home was built for Hugh Mercer originally. And well, he was a general also, but he's probably best known as the grandfather of Johnny Mercer, the singer-songwriter. Here, guys, is the home. Take a look in the very bottom room where the chandelier light is on. That's the place where they say the murder took place for Jim Williams, which inspired the book, which inspired the movie, The Midnight of the Garden of Good Evil. Now there's another home, we're going to see it in just a moment, that was featured in that film also. But I got to show you guys this one of a kind. Look left. Look left, everyone. The tan synagogue on the corner there. That's going to be the Temple Mikvah Israel. But guess what, guys? That's the only Gothic-style synagogue in the United States. And it was consecrated in 1878. Here's the other home I was telling you guys that was featured in the Midnight of the Garden of Leopold. Take a look on the right. This is the Armstrong house. You might remember this home, guys, if you saw the movie, and you remember the scene where they walked the invisible dog. Well, this is the home. And also, look at the fence around the home. This fence is a small replica of Buckingham Palace. So we are about to experience a change and a shift in the styles of architecture because, guys, we're actually about to enter the Victorian district. We know because we're right in front of Forsyth Park here. We'll have a marine dedication right in front, but if you look even further, you'll see the beautiful Forsyth fountain up there. Nice and elegant. Well, that fountain resembles the Place de la Concorde from Paris, France. But I want you guys to know, the fountain you're gazing upon, well, that fountain was ordered out of a catalog from New York City. It still looks great, guys. It looks great.
Henry Forsyth.
Cool.
Now, I got another question for you guys.
I'll get it.
This time, well, I'm going to actually tell you guys. You can score points for these questions.
33 minutes, 18
I need the answer, though. So, well, you can actually score the 200 points for this.
16
Now, they're
minutes,
about
38
pineapples of all
seconds per
things.
mile.
Just the pineapples. Look, guys, the
Split
breezeway
pace.
before we get to light. I want you to take a look right. Look at the
Oh,
breezeway.
okay.
You see the two pineapples up there. Does anyone know what the pineapple stands for internationally? Two answers. That's right. I heard those answers, guys. Welcome to hospitality, and you would be right. So you're at 200 points right now. But the ladies of the house back then, when the ladies of the house was expecting their guests, they would place two pineapples on top of their mantle to welcome their guests in. When they were no longer welcome, they would take them down. And well, you call that Southern charm. You gotta be polite. Take a look to the right, the beautiful Italianate style of architecture. The carriage house is right next to it. You're going to see the Queen Anne style coming up on the right also. Look for the side balcony of the Queen Anne. And this really big one here, guys, is the Animals Hospital today. Look at the rounded arches in the columns here. This is called the Romanesque Revival style of architecture. So we've just seen some of the styles of architecture. Queen Victoria, she reigned in the time frame of 1834 to 1901. And these are just some styles of architecture named after her era. We call this Victorian age here in Atlanta. Here at Forsyth Park, take a look. Named for John Forsyth, Secretary of State during the administration of Andrew Jackson. There's a tall statue, guys, to the left. Take a look. There's a Confederate soldier there. Well, he was placed there 10 years after the Civil War, commissioned by the wives and daughters of the fallen soldiers. They had him built in Canada out of the Canadian sandstone. He was to be shipped here to the south without touching northern soil, they say. Now we're going to see another statue of war. It was tradition for statues of war to face their enemies. Well, this next one is called the Hiker, and the Hiker faces south. He's dedicated to the American troops that fought for Cuba during the Spanish-American War. And the hikers, they had to hike everywhere they went. They couldn't have horses because the land, called terrain, was just too rough for the horses. So guys, you know, they had to be in great shape, these hikers. And they were also known as rock riders. And Teddy Roosevelt was one of the rock riders. Here is the hiker on the left. Take a look as we make our way past. He got a rifle in his hand too, guys. And well, he looks pretty serious too. So we're about to see something that Mary Telfair, the lady of stipulations, she stipulated upon. And well, she was called a spinster here. That means someone who did not wed or have children. She was called that here in Savannah, the spinster and lady of stipulations. Miss Mary Telfair commissioned this hospital to be built here. And well, we're going to talk more about it in a moment. This is going to be our stop 4, though, for those getting off at stop 4. Here we are. Remain seated until we stop completely, and the door has opened. Stop 4. castle was to be built for women only and ran by women only. The only way that a man could be inside, he had to be born there. And just 3 days after he was born inside, well, he was no longer one. She was a lady of stipulation, and she did this is what we love, you guys. What did we say? We're about to see now a Victorian-style mansion. You can't miss it. This mansion is so huge, guys. It's an 18,000 square feet of mansion. And while it's going to be that red terracotta color, that's pretty bold. And it has, it's a 4-story, 4-diamond hotel. It has 126 guest rooms, 16 suites, a gourmet culinary school, the lush poolside spa, 700 ratings for fine dining here, and its own art gallery inside. This on the right is going to be the mansion of Forsyth. Now this is a Kessler-owned hotel, and the Bohemian downtown is also a Kessler-owned hotel. Kessler. So here is what Scan has done. Look how beautiful this building is on the left here. Scan restored this building. It's their administrative offices today. Look at the doorway. Very beautiful with the mirrors outside. So I have began to show you guys a part of my hidden treasure collection. So I got something to tell you about now. Another part. This is what we call the red door. If you guys see the red door here in our historical part of Savannah, only the downtown area, guys, just this historical part. If you see a red door on any structure here, whether it be on a home, a church, or a business, well, the red door means the structure is completely paid for. Just so you guys know, now you know what the red door means. So we're going to see some of the houses here throughout the way. And now there's a nice red door. Doesn't that look nice on the home? And well, this is Rockington Hall, the second building on the right. A lot of stars stay here and rent apartments during their time of stay. A lot of weddings and other mixes and parties take place here too. You can see why. It's quite beautiful there. Some would ask why are the homes so high up off the ground when it comes to the doors. Guys, they would keep dust and dirt out of their homes that way. Not only that, well, the service quarters and the kitchens were on the bottom floors. And they would open up the doors to take on breeze to cool the homes down. And not only it is just the architectural style too. This is still the Victorian district. So look to the right. There you'll see the Kroger. That's the only grocery store in the historical part of Savannah as of today. But it's the building I want you guys to see. The building pays homage to the old marketplace that used to be in our city markets. If you have the East Central guidebook, turn to stop 13, you'll see a picture of the old marketplace. Well, it looks just like the Kroger. They tore down the marketplace, guys, and put a park garage with all things in its place. And the citizens were so upset about that. But you'll hear more about that around stop 13.
I did.
So now we're about to go through and see some of the houses or the homes that Alfred Eichberg designed here. He was a well-sought-after Jewish architect for the region, commissioned through Savannah and Atlanta for many different projects here. Of St. John the Baptist. So, before we get started there, I do want to mention the tickets to you guys one more time for those who went to the homes of their age. Built in the 1850s and up, these homes. And well, not much has been done to them. There is one in the very middle that has a modern day addition, a wraparound front porch there. And well, that's pretty much it. And two, they were built out of what's called the Savannah Great Brick. Now you guys might have heard of Georgia red clay. There's a thing called Georgia's red clay. We do have red clay here in Georgia. But these homes are built out of the ones that produces the grayish hue with the bricking. And you're probably wondering where that comes from. Well, it comes from the mortar that came from the bottom floor of the Savannah River. Now, it produces the grayish hue. Now, the slaves from the Hermitage plantation, they had to go down into the river, scrape the floors, to gather the mortar to make up the bricks. Look, guys, on the left, you're going to see a red door on the fence here, the gate. The homes and the gate is made out of the Savannah Great Brick. Now, can you believe they said the homeowners back then, they were tearing down the carriage houses made of the Savannah grape brick. They would tear it down, guys, to sell the bricks. The bricks were going for $3 and $5 each. Pretty hot bricks. The area we've entered now, this area, this entire area here, this was the burial ground for slaves here. This is called Whitfield Square. It's named after Reverend George Whitfield. He started the Bethesda Orphanage for boys. And that's considered one of the oldest of the child care institutes in the U.S. But guys, you already have, what, 200 points so far? Well, here's a chance to score 100 more. Look at the gazebo in the center of the square. The gazebo was a gift to us from a superstar. After he filmed his motion picture, right here in Savannah, 1976, he gave us the gazebo. The name of the film is called Gator. Does anyone know the name of the gentleman I'm talking about? That's right, Burt Reynolds. You guys are at 300 points. That was very thoughtful and kind of Burt Reynolds to give us a gazebo. A lot of weddings take place at the local academy. We're about to pass Stone Street now, noted as one of the most beautiful streets to take a stroll on in the USA. Because of the beautiful homes alive here. I know you guys have heard of the Joneses, right? Well, guys, that phrase has nothing to do with the homes here. I just love using it right there. This is Troop Square. The blessing of the animals takes place each year in this square. It was started by the Unitarian Universalist Church. And the church is right here in the square too. We'll see it. Well, look at the sphere in the middle. In the very middle, guys, look at the base of the sphere. Is that one turtle or more than one carrying that sphere there? Can you see it? I like that design. There's a church on the left across the way. The church was originally built, the building was originally built for African Americans. At some point in time that changed. At another day and time, James Pierpoint became a choir director for the church. And well, he gave music lessons as well. He is noted for writing a very famous Christmas tune. It started out being called One Horse Open Sleigh. The name of that song was changed for 100 points, guys. 1859 to what song? What name?
Jingle bells.
Jingle bells, that's right. You guys, guess what? You're at 400 points. That's pretty good. Now, where are my Girl Scouts? And ladies, you know once a Girl Scout, always a Girl Scout. To all my Girl Scouts on board. You're about to see what Juliet Gardlow started the Girl Scouts here. 1912, in the carriage house of her father-in-law, Angelo. She was married to his son, William Mackey. And they called William Mackey Doug. Well, she started Girl Scouts in the very back in the carriage house of Angelo's home. He was a wealthy cotton merchant, Mr. Angelo. And well, he died at his home, and so did Juliet Gardlow. She died in 1927 in this home. Here's the home on the right, the Angelo home. And Juliet touched the lives of many by way of the Girl Scouts. We're going to see where she was born in just a little bit too, along the tour. But I got to show you guys next the very first home to have electricity here. It's going to be the house you're turning in today. And it's noted as one of the most beautiful homes in the United States. This was very exciting to the Savannah citizens to get electricity on this home here on the right. Take a look. But guys, it scared them too. They wasn't used to seeing the lights so bright on the home this way. So they watched the home for several weeks on end because they thought the home was going to blow up. Right in front of us is the Cathedral of St. John the Baptist. This cathedral was so badly burned at one time. All that remained was 4 walls, but look at it now. The stations of the cross and the stained glass windows, well, they came from Austria. And guess what? This also brings me to the very first prohibition for Oglethorpe's charter. He said no Catholic worship. That was more a military strategy rather than a religious issue. In case of a war with the Spanish, he didn't want the citizens here that was Catholic to show any leniency or pity. That was the first reason for the first prohibition. This is our stop 6 for those getting off at the cathedral. Here we are, stop 6. So the dueling grounds. Well, that's a place where the men would settle their differences with God. It's going to be a nice green patch of land today, guys. Take a look to the right. Here it is. land and all the way down, you'll see the tastefully placed children's playground. The dueling ground was there. The men would stand back to back. Take 10 to 12 paces. Turn and shoot. And the loser didn't have far to go. He was lined up here on the right, in the Colonial Park Cemetery. Interment began 1753 to 1854 here. But look, guys, look at the brick structure of these vaults. The vaults would house up to 9 family members all at once. In the center of the cemetery, all the way straight through, you'll see a grade 4 column structure dedicated to Button Gwinnett. He was one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence. He lost his duel, however, to a Mr. Lakeland McIntosh. Now, the Union soldiers were staged here too, guys, in the Colonial Park Cemetery. While General Stryver was at the Green Belgium, his soldiers was here, and they were called mischievous soldiers. That's because they knocked over so many of the gravestones, leaving some of the graves unmarked. To this day, some of those gravestones, well, they're cemented to the back wall of the cemetery. So they had to cement them, guys. They had to pitch their tents and secure their horses, so I get it. But what they did do, they took it upon themselves to alter some of the gravestones. They made it seem some of the interred there was 600 and 700 years old or more, and that some had even died before they were even born. Now, you know that was very mischievous on their part. But I guess they had to pass the time some way. So we're about to see our city fire call bell, and we call that fire call bell Big Duke. Big Duke weighs 5,500 pounds. So get ready, guys. You're about to see Big Duke. And well, he actually was running on a number system that will let them know in what area the fire was taking place here, or what square. Here's the fire department, so strategically placed right next to it. But Big Duke, look left, right here, look up. Now, Big Duke, he cost the city of Savannah $2,353.14. Savannah, well, the first of the Savannah firemen were African Americans. And Savannah was the first fully motorized fire department in the nation. I want to show you guys another part of my hidden treasure blend. This time it's a dainty chandelier. Look right, guys, right between the two houses. In the courtyard, there's a dainty chandelier hanging up.
Right.
The Valentine Inn is what it's attached to. The Valentine Inn is where some of the greats have stayed while filming here on location. Greats like Paul Newman, Robert Redford, Bill Cosby, Kevin Spacey, and so many others have stayed there while filming here. Here on the right is where Juliette Gordon was born, the home of her grandfather, William Washington Gordon. She was born there on Halloween night, 1860. Look left, guys, right here in the median right here. There's a blue wreath here. This burial ground was designated to the 42 Jewish immigrants. They came during the beginning of the colony, and they were met with so much opposition before they got here. Some did not want them to come. But Oglethorpe wanted them here for their skill set. So it's a good thing, too, that they came. Because Dr. Nunez belonged with the rest, and they helped to save the entire colony from the yellow fever epidemic just a few weeks after everyone had just arrived here. So it's a good thing they came. So I need to ask you for help on this next square. This is Telfair Square, and every single time I go into the square, I make a turn in the square, I get a certain feeling. I get this strange feeling every time. So guys, when I start to get that feeling this time, all I'm going to do is check on you. I just want to know if you feel the same way. So just help me out with this one, guys. But let's go look at some of the buildings first. This is going to be the Judson Center. The very first one. I want to point out to you guys the statue of the Bird Girl statue too. So here's the Judson on the left. We're going to go really slow here. And this is where it housed the popular Bird Girl statue, which is featured on the cover of the bestseller, The Midnight of the Garden of Good and Evil. But guys, look up. On the second floor of the walkway there. Do you guys see the popular Bird Girl statue there? Now it has art scenes for children and their families inside. It also houses traveling, moving artwork, which can be so very large when it comes to the scales of art. Telfair Square is named for Edward Telfair. He was a delegate for the Continental Congress. He was also one of Georgia's governors. He was the father of Mary Telfair the Spinster. We're going to see the family home in this square also. But look at this building on the right. Just take a look at the building. You're going to see the other two that's in correlation to the building. So you guys are going to get what we call these, the nicknames that we've given them. This building and the next two here. Now these next two buildings, in front of them, you'll see a mosaic piece of artwork called Two Rows Apart. But guys, just looking at these buildings, can't you see why we call them the bathroom towel building? Now I'm starting to get that feeling I told you guys about. Every time I come to this square, I get that strange feeling of being watched in this square. Every time I make this left turn, guys, it never fails. I'm getting that feeling right now. So I just want to know, are you guys feeling the same way I do? So tell me, guys, don't you feel like you're being watched too? Thanks, guys. It's good to know that I'm not alone in this. So look. Take a look at this home. You can't miss this home either because look at the color on it. Well, the statues are out front here. This is the Telfair family home here, the mansion. Built by William Drake from Bath, England, 1818, completed. Alexander Telfair, the brother of Mary, he commissioned the home to be built. And while he said the home was to go to Mary upon his death, Mary stipulated, because she was a lady of stipulation, she said it was to become a home museum upon her death. We all can see what it is today. She gave it to the Georgia Historical Society, and it became the very first in the southeast region to become a home museum. That was 1886, after giving it to the Georgia Historical Society. So we're on our way to our high-volume shopping and dining area. I call this the second part of the tour. It starts with City Market Stop 7, and we're about to head that way. So Brock Street is here where we are, guys. Leopold is located on Brock Street. A lot of stores and shops are here. City Market is right across the way, and then we're going to head to the river. We are going to come back to City Market by way of Stop 13, but we're heading to Stop 7 now. So guys, I wonder if you guys notice anything about our McDonald's. It doesn't look quite like the others, does it? Well, of course not, guys. We're in the historic part of Savannah. And they had to go through our historic review board. All the owners, homeowners and business owners have to go through the historic review board. And you have to get a favorable review to change anything on the outside of your structure. And yes, that is pretty strict. Now, our McDonald's, just looking at it. Guys, they refused to take the big golden arches for McDonald's. So we got a small pair. And we couldn't have a drive-up window either, guys. So guess what? We got a walk-up window.
A walk-up window. It's cool.
So City Market dates back 1755. This is where the settlers would come and bring their goods. Their produce and poultry and fish and many different items to sell. Well, today it's all modern day. Even Polynesian restaurant is located here. And even the first of its kind for the African American built 1859. We'll see that later. Here is our Stop 7 for those getting off at City Market. I do hope you've enjoyed your time with me. Free for those getting off here. We're going to make the stop, so remain seated until we do. The doors will open. Guys, here on the left is where Lady Shabri is come and perform on a monthly basis. There's a picture of Lady Shabri on the very last window here. She was a female impersonator. She played herself in the midnight of the Garden of Geneva. She used to come back and perform at Club 1 when she moved away here. She passed away September last year. We're on Bay Street now, one of the first streets laid out here in the new land to make Savannah east and west. East of us you'll find the Savannah Beach or Tiny Island. West of us you'll find the industrial area. That's what the Georgia Sports Authority is located. The sugar refinery is located. Now the City Hall is going to be on the left. Liberty
Oh,
Leopold.
really?
This is Johnson Square. And due to its proximity to the water, this was our social square. The Declaration of Independence was read to an enthusiastic net of crowd. Right here, August the 10th, 1776. Now we had our first skyscraper to Savannah right here too, guys. And well, we had a hotel for strangers. This is where those that would be new to Savannah, they could stay for a little while and they didn't have to pay 1 cent. Boy, has the times changed. Now, the city oven was here. They had to come here to cook their food and also the sundial to tell what time of day it was. You'll see the sundial here on the left in front of Nathaniel Greene's monument. Nathaniel Greene was second in command to George Washington, and that was during the Revolutionary War. He was compensated for his efforts in that war. He was given a plantation called the Mulberry Grove Plantation. Well, Nathaniel Greene was from Rhode Island, and he loved to go riding. He loved to go out riding. But the one thing, he just could not get used to the Georgia's hot weather. Guys, here in the summer, I'm telling you, it gets so hot and humid in Georgia. I'm from Georgia, and I still can't get used to the heat. So I understand where Nathaniel Greene was coming from. He just couldn't get used to it. But he just loved going out riding. But so he decided to go ahead and go out riding one day. But the thing is, he forgot his hat. And that was not a good idea. Because Nathaniel Greene would not return home that evening. He died of a heat stroke. At the age of 43, he passed away. And well, he left behind his wife, Katie, and their 4 small children. Katie, she was an educated woman. She was so concerned about her children's welfare. She decided to have them educated as well. So she went and sought to hire a learned gentleman from Yale University to tutor her children on the plantation. But just so happened, this learned gentleman turned out to be Elijah. He taught the kids on the plantation, but he also invented the cotton gin, 1793. Now, after he invented the cotton gin, it was said that many other plantations had begun to make up their own different types and styles of cotton gin. Well, guys, if you and I were back here with Eli Whitney, we probably would have heard him say to them, "You better keep your cotton in hand. Off my gin." This is Wright Square, Thomas T.T., the co-founder, is buried in the center. Well, that's not his monument on top, guys. That big monument now goes to William Washington Gordon. They destroyed Thomas T.T.'s burial ground, and some felt really bad about that. William Washington Gordon, he started the Central Georgia Railroad, but he's probably best known as the grandfather of Juliet Gordon Lowe. She started the Girl Scouts in 1912. Well, Nellie Kinsey Gordon, the mother of Juliet Gordon Lowe, she got a stone of remembrance for Thomas T.T. It commemorates him being the co-founder. You're about to see a big granite globe that came from Stone Mountain, Georgia. Look, guys, on the left here in the southeast corner, there's the globe of Thomas T.T. So let's talk about a nice little eatery place here called Susie. Well, Susie was noted in 2012 for having the best sandwich in America. That was on the Food Channel. And the sandwich that they chose as the best sandwich in America is called the Conquistador. It's a chicken sandwich. And guys, it is delicious. They serve up some really great food here. African Haitian Swiss and Dutch cuisine. They serve in this nice little place called Susie here. And she's about that you can taste. Now, one of my favorite sandwiches is located here too, guys. I do like the Conquistador, but I love the Fisherman's Deck. The Fisherman's Deck is a salmon sandwich for those who like salmon. And guys, it makes me wish they had curbside service for the trolley. There is another place I wish had curbside service for the trolley. We're about to see that other place too. I'm going to show it to you. But now I'm going to show you guys where, well, we had the first home to have running water in the United States. Even before the White House, you guys will see that. It's called the Owens Thomas House. Now, it's going to be the pumpkin-colored home, the green trimming. It has a white cast iron balcony. But guys, as we pass the front door, look at the in-cave doorwell on this. I just like that. Here is the Owens Thomas. There is the white cast iron balcony, and that's where the Marquis de Lafayette, the French general, that's what he spoke to encourage the Savannah citizens at one time. The thing is, he spoke in French the entire time. They couldn't understand one word he said. So they nodded politely every single time he paused. And guys, you know what you call that, right? Southern charm. You gotta be polite. That home you just saw has 23-inch thick walls to it. Guys, that keeps the home cool during the summer and warmer during the winter months. I myself said, maybe that was the person's climate control. The guys, I gotta do my research to find out. So, the next place I'm about to show you is the other place I told you guys that I wish had curbside service for the trolleys. And well, you know it's food of some kind. It's called Leopold's ice cream. Leopold's was started by 3 gentlemen, 1919, from Greece. 3 gentlemen from Greece, 1919. From their lineage, Dr. Leopold was brought for the ice cream business as a child. Here it is on the left-hand side, Leopold. His heart was to go into the film industry. Track went to the film industry, worked his way up. He became the vice president of production for Paramount Pictures. His heart was filled with the family's business here in Savannah.
I know, I saw it on the map.
And we are thankful for that. So we're about to see the very first stop that's on our Boasted Gravestone tour. You guys are more than welcome to take that tour. If you're going to be here for the weekend, you take the holiday tour too. You will be discounted for those tours just for riding with us. The Ice Davenport home. Take a look. There's a picture that shows you part of what it looks like on the inside. This is our stop number 8. Ice Davenport, he built his own home. He was a master builder of the home. And it was due for demolition, this nice home. It was due for demolition in the 1950s. 7 Savannah women band together. They saved the home. It later became known as the Historic Savannah Foundation. Well, look at the bed and breakfast across the street here, guys. Look at the outside trimmings. The stairs always give this way. So look at the stairs, the rails, the columns, the lintels, the window sills, even the patios. You would think they were made out of wood, but they're made out of iron. William Kehoe had an iron foundry here. He said if they can make things out of wood, he can make them out of iron. He proved it. He built the home for his wife and their 10 children. So we have a new addition to Savannah called the Webb Museum, dedicated to our nation's heroes and military. There's an artifact from every American conflict inside. We have one of our conductors here, guys. And we have the gentleman here for the Webb Museum. I got it. There's an artifact again for every American conflict in there. They have over 100 uniforms in here. One they say that came from the captured Saddam Hussein. We have a visit to our newest edition there. We're heading now to the center point of the African American community. This is called Green Square, named after Nathaniel Green. You just heard about Nathaniel. So Green Square, guys, here is where the Second African Baptist Church was formed. It came from the First African Baptist Church because the First African Baptist Church outgrew in membership. They didn't have enough room for their members. So over 200 members went along with the Reverend Henry Cunningham to start the Second African Baptist Church. Now, General Sherman met with the Freedmen's here. He established Field Order 15, where he promised the 40 acres and a mule to the Freedmen's. Look, guys, across the square. The pink building with the brick on top is the Second African Baptist Church. So do you guys want to see the smallest home in the historic district? Yeah. Look straight ahead. That little cottage I have nicknamed Little Tiny. You guys can see why. You're talking over $200,000 for that now. Now, I call it Little Tiny because you can go in the front door and out the back in a matter of seconds. So once again, guys, here we are. And that meant no strong alcohol or liquor. And guess who did not like that prohibition? The pirates. And well, guys, they didn't like it so much, they rebelled against it. And they built their tunnels from the wine cellar of the pirate's house up to the river. It's not too far. And there they smuggled in their contraband. And those caught with such libations, well, they had to pay a healthy penalty. But they didn't seem to care about that. Now those very tunnels that I mentioned to you guys, that's where they say the Shanghai took place. Now a Shanghai would go a little something like this. If they saw a young man sitting too long, or drinking too much, perhaps he passed out, but who knows? That young man would wake up the next day with a new career on board a ship. And I think they would call those Shanghai. And it would take them up to a few years to work their way back to the area. So here we are, for the stop number 9 for those getting off here to the Pirate House. I'm going to show you guys the original Pirate House.
There's a pirate up there. Well, the Olympics is held in Atlanta that year. And well, Savannah, we had the body of water to the yachting. That's how we got in on it. We did the yachting event here. Look down in the water as we take a turn. There you'll see the 1996 Olympic cauldron. Down there. We're on our way down to the river. Three things I want you guys to see here. The Chatham Artillery, the eagle on top on the right. Dedicated to the oldest of the military organizations. There it is. The Vietnam Veterans Monument, 106 names engraved. Those who lost their lives in the war for the area. And we have the Celtic Cross, other Celtic Cross. Here on the right, dedicated to the Irish settlers from the beginning of the colony. So guys, you might have heard about Savannah. We have the second largest turnout in the nation. When it comes to St. Patrick's Day parade, our population triples here. And everything turns green. The fountains turn green. The beer turns green. Even the food turns green. Yes, guys, we have green eggs during that time. And well, a few days after St. Patrick's Day, well, let's just say we have many green faces. Now, this is the time I advise everyone on board to hold on. Hold on, hold on to your loved ones. That's because we're going to bounce, guys, right down the bluff on the ballast stones. They balanced the ships once they came across the ocean. When they got cargo, they discarded upon the stones here. And someone came up with a great idea to reinforce the bluff here. It was quite a beautiful idea. So I got something I want you guys to see. Yeah.
I'm going to make clearance here, so look up to the left and the right. Look guys, look at the walkways, left and right. They are called factors walks, built for the cotton brokers known as factors. They would stand upon those walkways, watch the cotton as it was being brought in, bid upon it and purchase it. Because cotton was king here in Georgia. Bought many of the homes here. And well, there's a bridge, the Eugene S. Tower Bridge, placed here in 1990. Replaced the smaller bridge we had that connected Georgia and South Carolina. That small bridge was struck, guys, by two different ships. I'll tell you more about that later. So this will be our stop 10 on the river for those getting off here. This is where our Golden Gravestone starts every night. So we're going to pull up, guys. We're going to pull up in case the trolley comes behind. So remain seated until we stop completely. We're going to pull up, ladies, just to let you know.
So, stop 10, modern day waterfront. So, I do welcome everyone that's just joined us. My name is Kree. I will be a hey, lady. So we do ask our guests to remain seated while removing keep all body parts aside, no smoking or drinking of alcohol, and cell phones or silent vibrate. Look, guys, look to the left. Take a look. You'll see what we call the river. It's at high tide, guys. But look over there where those two buildings are. That's Hudson Island. The river separates Georgia and South Carolina. Hudson Island is still a part of Georgia. And well, we have the International Trade and Convention Center, the first building. The second one is the Western Harbor Resort. All the buildings on the right-hand side, they were old cotton warehouses here. Changed into 5 and dimes at one time. Restored to all the nice businesses we have here. Look left, the wooden structure here. This is what they say our city market looked like back in the 1750s. And I want to show you guys something very modern day. Take a look on the right. The pets have their own store to come shop at here. Wolfgang Bakery. Now guys, if that's not modern day, I don't know what else is. Now let's go see the waving girl of Savannah. Now this is the best lady, guys. This Florence Martin. It says that she waved for 44 years without missing any shifts. That would come into dock. 44 years of waving. That is a lot of waving. Well, guess what? She's still waving today. But she's a statue. Here is Florence waving with Sandy, her dog, right by her side for moral support. Florence would wave a towel on apron by day, utilize the lantern at night. She stayed with her brother George on Elba Island while he manned the lighthouse here. Now, I want to tell you guys about the rumor. The rumor was that Florence waved so, looking for her lost love. It was said that the gentleman promised to come back to Florence before he went off to sea, but he never came back. So it's said that Florence died of a broken heart and very tired arms. Hold on, guys. What's just a rumor? The mountain of the bluff here on the Ballaststone, some call them cobblestone. The cobblestones are huge, pretty huge. Here on the right is going to be the bust of the Dr. Noble Wimberly Jones. He started in Georgia Medical Society here. His father was Noble Jones, and Noble Jones, his father, came over with Oglethorpe, the founder, during the beginning of the colony. And well, his father owned a wormsole plantation. They say it's quite beautiful there. I haven't visited yet. And well, it also has a it's known for its walkway. It's a walkway, guys. It's almost like the one we see right in front of us. But it's a little bit more distinctive than this one. So look down the walkway here. You're going to see the beautiful trees here. Look how they crisscross each other and make a beautiful tunnel. I'm going to tell you about the trees. But the building on the left here is going to be the Bryce Hotel today. That's actually what Coca-Cola and the bottle company was what saved here in Savannah. Coca-Cola was started in Atlanta, Georgia. 1886 was the year it was started. Now these trees in front of us, these are the live oak trees. And they're called the state trees of Georgia. They're called live oaks because they take trees all year round. They don't lose their leaves all at once. That's the key. But guys, do you know what they call the stuff that hangs from trees? Anybody know? That's right. They call it Spanish moss. But the thing is, it's neither Spanish nor moss. It's actually an air plant from the pineapple family. And well, the citizens of Savannah, they loved it. They loved the Spanish moss so much, guys. So much they stuffed their beds with it. But what they did not know is that the Spanish moss, it housed the red jigger bugs. Oh yeah, and this is when we stay sleep tight. And don't let the bed bug bite. Now I'm going to try another one on you guys, see how you feel. Now they say that Henry Ford, he stuffed the Model T Fords with the same Spanish moss. Some may remember his slogan back then. It went, "Are you issued for a Ford?" Well, you know he started from scratch. Thanks guys for laughing at my point of view. Now, we're going to start, we're heading right into the Colonial District. We call it the Colonial District because these are the homes in the 1700s and early 1800s. the pirate's house, even the little smallest home you guys saw. Even up to this area, notice they're the wooden homes. Some of them are bricked over. We don't have many of them left here. The reason we don't have many left, we have three great fires here. We had the fire of 1820, the fire of 1889, but the most devastating of the fires happened in 1796. Well, that fire consumed 2/3 of the homes here. It burned down 300 homes. And well, it only left around 170 left. So guys, we had 171 left. Then came the other two fires. So now you can see why we don't have many of those older homes left. But I want to show you one of the homes that survived all three of the fires. I say it survived with sentimental value because James Hamilton Jr. built the home. It took him over 18 years to complete it. Look left, you're going to see the pink house. The restaurant now. Pink in color. It took him over 18 years to save. We would say he put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into that home. So perhaps that's why it survived. This is Dr. B12. That's where we'll find the city exchange bell. We'll also see the old cotton exchange there. The cotton exchange is the place where the cotton brokers made and lost fortunes. And well, back then, perhaps it could have been known as, for example, the Wall Street of the South. Because that's where the price of cotton was set for the entire world at one time, as well as Liverpool, England. So it was designed by William Preston from Bath, England. He also designed the griffin that sits in front of it. The griffin is a wing-like mythical lion. He said that it protected the treasure of the land. Cotton was the treasure. So you gotta see the city exchange bell. It's owned in a casino type structure. Look left, guys. Here's the city exchange bell that came from Amsterdam. Manned at all times in case the fire broke out. Also, it will alert the store owners and those let them know that it was the close of business for the day. Stop. Number 12. That's the old cotton exchange. It's now the Masonry Hall. You'll see in front of it the griffin. He's the same color as the building right here, spouting out his water. Right, he's right here, surrounded by the fence of the presidents and poets. So I want to show you guys the Washington guns next. These are cannons we got. We got these cannons from George Washington after his 3-day stay here in 1791. And he captured them from the General Cornwallis during the Battle of Yorktown. I'm going to tell you what we nicknamed the cannons. And two, we're going to see the U.S. Customs Building. And well, it states where James Oglethorpe, the founder of the Georgia Colony, well, that's once where his home stood. And also, the columns on the building weigh 15 tons each. The Washington guns is going to be on our right-hand side. Take a look. These two cannons, guys, we call them Martha and George. Look at the U.S. Customs Building. Here it is on the left. There's a plaque over there that commemorates the first bourbon given by John Wesley. For those who didn't see it, here's the City Hall, erected 1903 to 1906 by 9 No, they built it over to 66. At one time, the folks built it over from Germany. We're on our way down the city market, stop 13, and that's what we'll find. Polynesian restaurant, the latest son. Polynesian started out her kitchen making sandwiches and other meals. Her sons were her delivery boys. The name of her business was called the Bag Lady. She changed the name from the Bag Lady to the Lady. She outgrew the kitchen, changing the name to the Ladies and Sons. And well, it's located right in this square, guys. You can't see it from where we are, so you have to walk to Polynesian. So if you get off at this stop, you just go straight through the square. You're gonna take a left on Congress, that big street right over there. And we'll go down to whatever it stops. Look left when you stop. You'll see Polynesian restaurant and souvenir store. This is our stop 13. I'm gonna get you guys out of the water. And you saw that Kroger. Well, the big marketplace that looked like the Kroger was right here. And well, that's where they would go and buy their food, guys. So I understand why they got upset when they tore it down. The citizens was upset about that. They called the park garage idiots, but they had to wait 50 years to tear it down. And they did. And this is what they made it into. It's a fun park-like square. It might not look like it right now, guys, but when it's hot here in Savannah, water comes from right up underneath the ground here, and the kids love this square. Now, back to the parking garage. Just to let you guys know, they tore it down, right? Well, we're driving over it right now. It's right up underneath the ground, and that was a clever idea. Everybody wins here about the market. Most certainly needed the parking. Now, we're on our way to the other side, so see the first of time for African Americans, erected in 1859. That'll be the first African Baptist church. But before we get there, it's named after Benjamin Franklin. He was actually an agent for the Georgia colony while he was still in England. So we're going to pass by the Pie Society. It's a British bakery. We also have an art gallery. Everything's going to be on the left-hand side. We also have a Savannah candy kitchen for those great pralines, those pralines, as some call them pralines. I love the chocolate ones, guys. Even the pumpkin ones they had. Now, they even have Benny Bag logos on the very end for that northern style pizza. Everything was here on the left. This is Franklin Square we're entering now. So look left, guys. I'm making a turn. Look left. There's the first of its kind for African Americans, the first African Baptist church. Erected in 1859. Now the owner of the Rapture plantation did not mind his slaves having worship services. He did not mind them building their own structure. They were so after their regular work hours they did. Those slaves, along with the freedom that came passing through the Underground Railroad, they built the church together, and they built the floors of the church. They put holes into them, and that's what they would hide those that would pass through the Underground Railroad, right up underneath the floors of the church. They were able to breathe and survive. All this brings me to the third prohibition for Oglethorpe Charter. He said no slavery in Georgia. Georgia started out as a big colony. And while Oglethorpe did not want slavery here, other citizens went to him one day and asked for slaves. They said they wanted slaves to help man the land. He refused to change it. So they got upset with him. They went to the 20 trustees he brought over. And, well, they put the pressure on the 20 to make the change. And eventually they came to the pressure. Slavery was repealed here in Georgia. 1754. They took on slaves. Stop 14. Anyone getting out that stuff? 14, like Shell. It dates back over 4 million years old. That's 14. It also has many dedications to the different ships. Ship Anne. Oglethorpe came across the SS Big ship, the first to cross the Atlantic. Many ships in the bottle collection also. A lot of different artifacts, pirates and sailors inside. But we got one more prohibition to talk about. We're going to talk about that prohibition. So I have a question. Was there anyone that was continuing with the tour? Or is everyone ending the tour at 15 and 1? We're heading to stop 15 and we're starting to stop 1.
We go back to 3.
Okay, yeah. We're going to head to 15 and then we're going to go back to the business center. Okay. I'll just make sure nobody else needs to be transferred. All right. So I want to tell you guys about the last prohibition. Now this one said that there was to be no lawyers in Georgia. And I gotta tell you guys, I don't have a reason for that prohibition. I had a reason for the other 3, but not that one. When Oglethorpe founder said, he said that every man must plead his own case in the matter. Every man must speak on his own behalf. If he was not comfortable doing that, he could have a friend to talk for him. No lawyers would be practicing here during that time. And well, of all the prohibitions, each and every one of them were repealed at some point in time. No Catholic worship were repealed. No strong alcohol or liquor, it was repealed. No slavery, that was repealed too. And no lawyers, it was repealed also. As everyone knows today, we have many different lawyers of many different kinds in the USA. Now, let's talk about our bridge. You guys might have had a chance to see how big bridge we have now. Well, we had a small bridge originally that connected Georgia and South Carolina. And that small bridge was struck not once, but like 2 different cargo ships. That was very devastating.